I did what I did, I guess it is what it is.
What?
Say twin.
They did what I did. They did what they did. I did what I did. I guess it's just what it is. Who put this? Who wrote this on the whiteboard to add to the album? This is probably the worst song I heard so far.
How Lil Baby fell off. Now look, I hate that I even uttered those words out of my mouth because I absolutely love Lil Baby. Lil Baby is one of my favorite rappers of all time. You know what I'm saying? I love his flow. I love what he rap about. And he's just an all-around great artist for me. Now, a lot of people are saying that he fell off for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? I think whatever they say it is literal blasphemy. By the way, if you are looking at my background right now and looking at my person, please don't look at my person. Please don't look at my background. All right, I ain't get my hair done in a minute. Also, I'm coming off of sickness. But anyway, also with Lil Baby's album just dropping, people are talking a lot of shit about it. I'll show y'all some clips from Twitter.
Twin, say twin. They did what they did, I did what I did, I guess it is what it is.
What?
Say twin.
They did what I did. They did what they did. I did what I did. I guess it's just what it is. Who put this? Who wrote this on the whiteboard to add to the album? This is probably the worst song I heard so far. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Out of 10, first listen, I might have to go 6.5, bro.
That's just bad. That's bad. That's really bad. I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, let's get it started. Why Lil Baby isn't popular anymore?
It's still mind-boggling when I go in there and rap because it's like the same craft and the same.
Sorry, I even have my headphones on. I'm a tweaker.
It's still mind-boggling when I go in there and rap because it's like the same craft and the same hobby. It turned serious.
Now, Lil Baby is a rapper who was on top just a few years ago. These days, Lil Baby is just not as popular as he used to be. What exactly happened to Lil Baby and his career? This is definitely one of the most relevant conversations in hip-hop right now. Now, what's going on with you today? So today I want to have a little conversation about what happened to Lil Baby and did he fall off? So you seen the clip I played you at the beginning of this video, which was an episode from Lil Yachty's podcast. He had Lil Baby on as a guest, and this interview has been making its way around the internet. Lil Baby spoke on a lot of things like his relationship with Gunna, which is non-existent according to him, which is obviously very unfortunate. He also spoke about the rap game, his career, the streets, which is of course very relevant to his career. Because
It's crazy. People are making like comparisons to Gunna, and like when Gunna dropped his album with that song. What time is it? Oh, we're 2 minutes in. That song, Fuck You Mean, in that John. That song is such a banger. That album is such a banger. And Lil Baby dropping his most recent John, Wham, and people are finding it underwhelming. I haven't fully listened to it yet, but people are finding it underwhelming. And the songs that people are liking are fucking features with Young Thug and Future on there, which is fine. You know what I'm saying? Lil Baby is one of my favorite artists. So I'm gonna take whatever win that we can get at this point. And I'm also definitely not hating on him in this video at all. I'm just saying that what people are saying.
Lil Baby is considered a street rapper. More specifically, I want to discuss something he said on this specific part right here.
And now I gotta watch what I say. I gotta watch what I do because I'm watching how society trying to do rappers. You know what I'm saying? I understand why they trying to do it because some rappers fuck it up for everybody. Damn, now I'm in this pool. So it's like harder for me to just go in there and rap how I used to rap. You know what I'm saying? That shit a whole different ball game.
So I can't play the entire clip, but Lil Baby on the first part was essentially talking about his career as it relates to why he's lost out on that fire in his belly. On one part, he spoke about being more conscious about what he says, which partially stems from him being a street rapper, because street rappers, as you guys know, they say a lot of things that could get him in trouble. We're going to talk about that aspect later on in the video. But one of the things it sounds like he was hinting at is that he's just not as hungry as he used to be. I'm sure a lot of people know who Lil Baby is, but Lil Baby is a rapper who's been doing it very big in the rap game ever since 2018. That's really when Lil Baby became a known figure on a mainstream level. Ever since then, he's put out a lot of great records, some really great projects like My Turn, which came out during the pandemic in 2020. And 2020 was undeniably Lil Baby's year because that was the year that he reached his peak in popularity. Lil Baby was one of the biggest rappers in hip-hop in 2020. I think most of us who paid attention know that. he was literally everywhere. He was one of the most streamed rappers of that year. A lot of his songs from that particular project did extremely well. My Turn in the End, I would say, became a trap/street classic. I still listen to that project, and I think it's definitely held its own weight for sure. And the numbers say the same. During that year, he also dropped The Bigger Picture, which was an extremely impactful rap song that reflected the times. Lil Baby turned into a conscious rapper for that one record, and the song was a really big moment because of everything that happened back then. Ever since 2020, which was the height of his...
And I think that record itself, The Bigger Picture, that shows Lil Baby's flexibility. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that shows that he's a talented rapper that can be flexible. So him giving the excuse like, oh, I can't really talk about gangster rap or stuff that can get me in trouble, it's simply just an excuse, because we saw your flexibility right here. You know what I'm saying? He didn't really talk about anything that could get him in trouble, and there's a lot of songs where he didn't really talk about things that can get him in trouble. I could say Emotionally Scarred, which is a very, very good song. And there's probably more, like maybe In a Minute, but I'm sure there's a bar you can sneak in there that has something to do that could get him in trouble or whatever. But either way, there are plenty of good songs where he does not have to talk about the stuff that he talks about. And even if he does talk about it, I don't know. I guess he is right that you could get in trouble, but I don't know.
And the song was a really big moment because of everything that happened back then. Ever since 2020, which was the height of his popularity, a lot of us know Lil Baby is just not as hot as he used to be. Now, this is for several reasons, but the biggest reason I would say is because the quality of the music just isn't as good as it used to be. Quality is of course subjective, so you can agree to disagree, but the general consensus seems to be that Lil Baby just doesn't sound as good as he used to sound. Aside from the subjectivity, I would say that a lot of it has to do with the repetitiveness as far as the content in his music. Lil Baby is a street rapper who raps about the streets, guns, money, lifestyle, passion, life, women, hunger, getting out the mud, and he makes music that has a story to it. But it's more on the lit side, and that's exactly why I've always listened to Lil Baby. I don't know about you, but I don't listen to Lil Baby to hear about the political and economic state of the world. I listen to Lil Baby when I want to hear some turn up shit and get motivated. And I feel like that's relevant to most people. Lil Baby's content overall hasn't progressed all that much, but I would say that he still has his place in the game. I still listen to his music, just not as much as I used to. There's a lot of great artists that have came out ever since Lil Baby was very popular, especially street rappers. So there's a lot of options for people to choose from. And it seems like the general perception is that he's just not that guy right now. Although his last project didn't do all that bad, I did over 200,000 first week, which is solid numbers.
I love that
was
album.
2 years after he was going crazy, so it does make sense. Ever since then, Lil Baby hasn't dropped anything that's made a very big splash. Now he was featured on
this song. Honestly, I did not like this football song. This football song, it only took me one time to listen, and I'm like, oh, this is okay, but it's not Lil Baby, bro.
Baby hasn't dropped anything that's made a very big splash. Now he was featured on that Central C record, Band for Band,
Love Band for
ended up
Band,
becoming a really big song. But it's of course not his song, and the perspective for a lot of people there seems to be Central C helped Lil Baby revive his career, which is a crazy thing to say.
That's insane
because
word.
I think Lil Baby can hold his own, but if we take a look at the numbers, Band for Band has been the biggest thing Lil Baby has been a part of for the last 2 years. And don't forget, Central C is a UK rapper. He also dropped a song in early 2022 called Right On, which I feel like is really underrated. That's probably one of the best songs he's dropped in a while. Aside from that, he was featured on that one Nav record alongside Travis Scott, and then at the end of 2023, dropped a 2-pack with a song called 350 and another one called Crazy. A few months ago, he was featured on Bossman D-Lo's song. He's a new successful name in the scene.
That song is hard.
Which is a banger.
Very hard
and then
song.
very recently, he dropped 2 songs that I think are worth listening to, Insecurities and 5 AM. Aside from that, Lil Baby hasn't made that big of a splash, and the conversation now is, did he fall off? This conversation was really relevant last summer because, as some of you guys might remember, Lil Baby made headlines for canceling several dates on his upcoming tour, which was supposed to start, I believe it was in August 2023. Around 3 weeks before it kicked off, he essentially canceled multiple stops without explanation. In other words, he wasn't able to sell out those venues. This was a really big story back in 2023, and I feel like that's when the topic of his fall off became a conversation. These days, people aren't checking for him like they used to, and it does make sense. This is not even necessarily a reflection of the fact that he's completely let himself go, because I still think Lil Baby has his place in the game. I mean, he recently dropped 2 very good songs that I've had on repeat personally, so clearly he still got it. It's more that the times in the music industry, but specifically hip-hop, are changing. Ever since the pandemic, a lot of rappers and artists who were hot during that era are just not talked about anymore. Although streaming has dominated the music industry for over the last decade, a lot of the rappers who became hot off of the streaming era have seen a significant decline, and that includes Lil Baby. A lot of it, I think, has to do with how fickle music is now, and if you're not an artist who talks about things that actually matter in the real world on a consistent basis, personally, I don't think you're gonna stick as much as the person who does cover those real life topics.
Not true. I think you just have to. I think like also has a big movement in the music industry. Like right now, or meta right now is TikTok, and you have a song that's trending on TikTok. If the song is not trending on TikTok, it's not really gonna do nothing. Like, i.e., if your song doesn't have a TikTok dance or a TikTok trend attached to it, it's not really gonna do nothing. Think about it like this: Boss Man D-Lo, diamonds on me dancing, pig ring full of crystals, baby. You know what I'm saying? I thought someone didn't do that dance on me, and niggas dancing and recording their family members and shit. Most recent project with DDG and Playboy Max, Pink Dreads. When I'm out of town, I be tripping, I be on one. I don't know how old you are or how much you be on TikTok that be watching this, but this is all TikTok trends. I don't watch YouTube Shorts trend as well, but that songs are huge because people hear them and they like, oh, they have no choice but to give them a chance. And they're like, wait a minute, this song is hard. I love this song. I love what I hear so far, and then I listen to it, and then I just run up the numbers that way. Oh, and Lil Baby, like, oh, his songs are good. There aren't really many songs that he went viral on TikTok for besides Band for Band and Go to Lunch in the Jewish Community. You know what I'm saying? It is like, yeah. And that's really it, bro. But Lil Baby is still very much talented, so Glorilla is so hot right now. Glorilla is hot because there ain't a single song she dropped that's not a TikTok sound.
This is, of course, not always the case, right? But a lot of those rappers who may not be that relevant to the majority of hip-hop fans, like NF is a good example who we spoke about in that Lil Baby video from 2023, a lot of guys like that are literally selling out arenas just like that. I mean, like NF sold out 20K people for multiple stops during his last tour. And most hip-hop fans would definitely consider him irrelevant. Now, NF is a very different case, and I definitely think he's the polar opposite of Lil Baby 1000%. But I want to use him as an example because it highlights that relevancy within the conversation of hip-hop isn't always the most important thing. What's more important than that is that you connect with your fan base. And for someone like Lil Baby,
Facts.
I think a lot of the hype surrounding him and his name has been generated by the music industry, the blogs, and not as fan-driven as it should be. That's why you don't tend to meet diehard Lil Baby fans. I mean, so this question, when was the last time you met someone who said, I'm a diehard fan of Lil Baby? It's almost like they don't exist, which of course they do. It's just that certain artists thrive heavily on a cult-like fan base, while other artists are more propelled by general hype. That then feeds into an audience. In the end, it all leads to a fan base, but the question is, what kind of fan base does it lead to? Now, when that base isn't fan-driven, what tends to happen is you have a situation like this. You're at the top of the world for a year or two, and 3 years later, they're saying that you fell off, which has reflected itself in the numbers, so it's not coming out of nowhere. There is a lot of validity to that statement. However, from another angle, the good thing about someone like Lil Baby is that he still has a track record of consistency. On top of the work he's already put in, he also has an extensive catalog. And to be fair, another important factor of this conversation, not every music listener knows who Lil Baby is. So if he, and gets another hit, all those new listeners are going to discover Lil Baby like he's a new artist, which is the dope thing about being a musician. You can be globally famous and still sometimes be unknown to certain pockets in certain demographics. Another aspect of this conversation as it relates to Lil Baby is the streets. Street rappers are slowly losing a grip on a culture, which is something I'm going to talk about soon. But Lil Baby actually kind of on this during his conversation with Lil Yachty.
But that's the thing though, hold on though. Y'all want to talk about the Young Thug trial? Lil Tecca will always raps about shooting, street rap all the time. And he openly admits that he doesn't do any of that. Why can't Lil Baby do the same thing? Unless Lil Baby is still doing stuff like that, which would be really fucking stupid. I digress.
Real, I seen him. I watch Young Thug try every day. I seen him. You really use stuff against him that don't got nothing to do with nothing. That right there could scare you. And then I'm one of them guys who I'm like to be hands on. Like, but it could be you.
Now, Lil Baby is a rapper who raps about the streets like a lot of other cats. And now he's seeing a lot of the guys he once called peers getting locked up, like Thug, who's of course out now. But Lil Baby is actually reevaluating the things he's saying in his records now. And this is a very real thing because the feds, right, I'm sure we all know this, but they really pay attention to hip-hop right now. Still committing crimes and rapping about it for millions to consume. Just take a look at Lil Durk, who's currently behind bars. Lil Baby is in the same boat where people expect him to be on a certain type of energy, and he's feeling the pressure of that. And this is such a big aspect of his career because of the pocket we put him in. At the end of the day, being a rapper in this lane comes with things that can be understood. For someone like Lil Baby, he grew up in the exact environment he's rapping about. And obviously he feels torn between keeping it real and saying just enough so the feds can destroy him. And this is something,
I mean, you gotta be slow to be still making doing crime. You gotta be slow to still be doing crime when you are a millionaire. Like, I feel like the only reason to do like crimes is to feed your family, and that's literally it. To feed your family or feed yourself. You don't have it, so you take it from somebody else. You know what I mean? You live in an environment where people will take it from you, so you take their life. You know, the only crimes that will make sense to me, while I still wouldn't do it, because I just feel like God just has things, you know, better. You know, and if you trust God and you have faith in God, you know what I'm saying, not to get religious on y'all, but that will definitely help you far more in the long run than taking the easy way out or taking like the hard way out in a sense. Anyway, I just feel like when you are removed from that and a millionaire, there is absolutely no reason to commit crimes. Absolutely no reason. Especially when you have a steady way of income, especially when you have your own fucking potato chips, you have your own, like, you have hit songs. You can not sell out arenas because, you know, he just said he didn't sell out arenas, but there's a whole bunch of things that are in your favor. There's no need to go crazy with the crimes. There's no need to even commit crimes at all. So him doing this is really stupid.
Between keeping it real and saying just enough so the feds can destroy him.
If he is
talking about in his music for the last 2 years. On the intro of his last album, he said the following: "Nowadays ain't no time for me to kick it. Business too intensive. They gonna say that I've been acting different. I'm beyond their mental. I moved on from slang and drugs and pistols.
Can't be thinking simple."
And then on the song 5,
I'm on diamond slang and drugs and pistols. Can't be thinking simple. Is that In a Minute? I love that song. And he, like I said, that song you might be able to find some shit. He actually just said that he doesn't do that shit no more. What the fuck?
5 a.m., which is a song he recently dropped, he said, "I got feds on my trail, they be trying to connect me to dumb shit. I got lawyers behind me, I'm ready to tell them come on." So Lil Baby is very aware of what's going on. It doesn't actually take a lot for a lot of these street rappers to catch a RICO case, believe it or not. A lot of these guys have in their past committed crimes that could put them behind bars even today. So for them, all it takes is for the police to start investigating in the right places, and for them to start asking questions to the right people. So it's a very slippery slope, because this is part of the reason why Lil Baby is where he is. And if he has to sit there and think about every single thing that he says as it relates to rapping about the lifestyle that he raps about, that's obviously going to affect the quality of his music, because the quality of his music partially is dependent on how real he keeps it. It's the same with Lil Durk. I mean, Durk wasn't out here putting out real life hits. Would Durk be as popular as he is? Probably not. Actually, his music wouldn't even be that good if you know, real. So factor in this, along with the change in times and the abundance of rappers and him not having as much hype as he used to just in general because of the music, and we have the situation he's currently in. Personally, to me, it's kind of clear why Lil Baby isn't as popular as he used to be. But what do you think? Overall, I don't think Lil Baby is finished. He still got it. I think he's going to have to win the public over by applying the same type of pressure he was applying in 2020. It's a hard task though, because let's just keep it real. Replicating a moment in time a different year is a very hard thing to do. In general though, it's really easy to tell that he's lost that grip he used to have. And I think that's partially why he's more open to doing media appearances. Obviously, he's way more well-spoken these days than he used to be back in the day. But another aspect of it is people actually want to hear you speak. You're not always going to be able to coast off of being cool, because that's how a lot of street rappers maintain their success. Now, for Lil Baby to actually go past this point that he's currently at, he's probably going to have to win over the casual listener by showing more of himself, so those people can then become a part of his core audience. Anyway, if you made it this far, that means that you enjoyed this video. So make sure you drop a like on it. And if you're new here, by the way, my name is Blackie Speaks. Nice to meet you. Welcome to the family. Come in. We got plenty of room left.
Yes, sir. Incredible video by Speaks. You know, and make sure y'all go and fuck with that video. But yeah, think like reviews, podcasts, maybe doing a stream and actually like be attentive and like be more, you know, alive. Like I remember when he was on Kai Cenat's stream and he was literally just like, honestly, go look it up. But yeah, it's just, yeah, enough. Anyway, y'all, appreciate y'all for watching. Honestly, I didn't know that Lil Baby could or any rapper could get in trouble for shit they did in the past by rapping about it now. I mean, excuse my ignorance, but I guess I see what type of situation Lil Baby is in. Either way, appreciate y'all for watching. I'm out of here.